5 days is long enough for your kids to start second-guessing your authority. 3 days into that, my son walked up to me and was like, hey, so why we gotta listen to you? Can't even get the lights on. Hey, listen, guy, you seem to want to be a comedian. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm an equal opportunity employee. Shook me out of my stuck state. I was like, wait a minute. Shaq can't fit no building, bro.
Eddie Murphy is a comedy legend, no doubt, but there's someone in his family who might be even funnier, his older brother Charlie Murphy. Yep, that's right, two Murphys in the entertainment biz. While Eddie's the household name, Charlie had some serious comedy chops too. He left his mark as a writer, music producer, actor, comedian, and family man. But hold on, because what he, his wife, and his son went through is just gut-wrenching. And now seems like after years of suffering, Eddie wants to speak up about it.
5 days is long enough for your kids to start second-guessing your authority. 3 days into that, my son walked up to me and was like, hey, so why we gotta listen to you? Can't even get the lights on.
Charlie Murphy was a true force of nature. This guy could have you rolling on the floor with laughter 1 minute and then leave Hollywood big shots shaking in their boots the next. Imagine a comedian who didn't just make you laugh but electrified you with his presence. His comedy wasn't just funny, it was a straight up jolt to the system.
I've been working since then, clocking dough, you understand? I threw what none of them make in a year in their face back to them. And the next day I was in Vegas at the House of Blues and I got a standing ovation.
Charlie didn't just tell jokes, he owned the stage. His stories were raw, unapologetic, and downright hilarious. But beneath all the laughter, there was this sense of danger that kept everyone on edge. You never knew what he was going to say or do next, and that unpredictability was what made him so thrilling.
My very first show, a woman said, hey, you can't talk like that around here. I was like, really? And I walked in here and said, comedy club above the door in that tabernacle. So this bitch.
Charlie had an immense talent that endeared him to most of Hollywood, yet he earned the most heartbreaking ending, and not only him, but his whole family was apparently targeted. Why did he have such an ending? Stay tuned to find out. Charlie grew up as the eldest son of Lillian and Charles Edward Murphy in the Bushwick neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York. Initially, love bloomed between Lillian, a telephone operator, and Charles, a transit police officer and aspiring comedian. Unfortunately, their relationship faded, and when Charlie was only 5, they split up. Tragically, Charles Sr. was later murdered by a girlfriend, leaving the family devastated. At just 10 years old, Charlie became the man of the house. Lillian, unable to raise the children alone, remarried in hopes of finding companionship and support. However, the new marriage also had its challenges, leading Charlie and his younger brother Eddie to endure severe hardships, particularly when Lillian fell ill with tuberculosis. As minors, Charlie and Eddie were sent to live in foster care for about a year while their mother recovered. During this time, Charlie at 6 and Eddie at 4 faced difficult circumstances, with Eddie later recalling mistreatment by their foster mother, Mrs. Jenkins, who was heavy-handed and abusive towards Charlie.
I was I think what I really think affected me the most was, when I was 10 years old, my father was
Right.
Okay?
Despite all the crap thrown at him in his childhood, Charlie was an upbeat kid who somehow managed to find moments of joy along the way. Everyone called him Charlie Wally, and at just 9 years old, he snagged a small part in the 1970 film The Landlord. Directed by Hal Ashby, the movie had Charlie in a scene where he stole hubcaps with another kid, only to get busted by the lead character played by Beau Bridges. Eddie has been pretty blunt about his brother, always saying Charlie was the tougher one growing up. And he wasn't kidding. Charlie held a black belt in karate, which definitely helped him sail through school without anyone daring to mess with him. Everyone knew better than to cross Charlie. He had the rep of a tough guy who wouldn't hesitate to stand up for himself or his loved ones.
He was gonna pop it, but we still wasn't getting no cash. Charlie had never told jokes. And I was like, how the f you around all these comedians, you never been on stage? So I used to bully him, he tough ass. Rest in peace.
But still, he could not save his family, and his wife and his son both met a tragic end. Seems like there is a curse that is not leaving the family. As family, friends, and fans mourn the loss of Charlie Murphy, old interviews are resurfacing from when Murphy faced an immeasurable loss of his own. Back in 2009, the comedian's wife, Tisha Taylor, passed away after losing her battle with cancer. Before his own death, Murphy admitted it was a devastating blow that deeply impacted him. In a past interview with Black Doctor, Murphy relived the shock and tragedy of discovering his wife's deadly illness. Quote, "I came home and she's in the kids' room crying. That's when she told me cervical cancer. You don't really grasp it," he said. "When the person tells you they're going to die, you go crazy. You become a different person from the moment you hear those words." He continued to explain that her sickness was even more devastating because his wife had always been so careful about her health. A young woman like that don't drink, don't smoke, don't do I know people that's 90 who do all of that, he said. Murphy also praised his wife's organizational skills, noting that even as life was slipping away from her, she was still taking care of her family. "She's a very organized woman. When she died, all the arrangements had been made," Murphy said. "She made her own arrangements." Murphy reflected on his deep connection with Taylor, describing them as soulmates. Recalling their first meeting on a boat, he recounted how he invited her to join him despite her friend's warnings against it. They immediately went to his brother's house where Murphy introduced her to his family, confidently declaring, quote, "This is my future wife." He emphasized, "I don't think you can find another person who fits like that. She wasn't just another person, she was like a mirror, you know? It was like that for 20 years. Following her passing, Murphy focused on being a devoted father to their two children, Xavier and Eva. However, he acknowledged that their lives were forever changed. Quote, "I'm not okay, you never really are, you just learn to live with it," he said. "Losing someone so close is monumental. It affected my children and me deeply. You don't ever get used to it, you don't just get over it." Charley confided to Tim Tiemann that he had never remarried because, as he put it, quote, "The kids want me to get married, but I don't want to bring someone home and it not work out." He mentioned that he would always be grieving for his wife, but recalled her encouragement to go on with your life. Find somebody that can make you happy. And it seems like this curse even followed him even after his death when the world got to know about his son's death. It seems that Charley's son Christoph passed away after battling an illness. A tagged post mentioned that Christoph fought bravely. This is a tragic time for Charley and his wife, especially considering the loss of their son. It appears that Charley's wife may have been Christoph's stepmother, adding another layer to this heartbreaking situation. And then his own death is also no less than a tragedy. Back in the day when the streets were tough and life was rough, Charley reigned supreme. He wasn't famous for his jokes or acting skills like his brother Eddie. No, Charley was known for something else entirely. He was the most feared thug around. He walked the streets with an air of authority and nobody dared to challenge him. Even the famous celebrity Chuck D talked about growing up with both of them on the street in an interview.
You grew up with Eddie Murphy and Charlie Murphy.
Down the street, right down the block.
According to Charley, acting was not his initial career goal, although he didn't dislike it as a craft. Originally, he focused on writing and managed to generate some income from it. However, he realized that writing alone might not sustain him long term. This realization led him to shift his focus to acting. He started with minor roles, such as appearing in the '89 film Harlem Nights alongside Eddie Murphy. It wasn't until 1993 that Charley secured his first major role, playing club owner Gusto alongside Chris Rock in the comedic rap satire CB4. This role marked his breakthrough, and from then on, Charley went on to appear in more than 50 roles across television and film. Before Charley's successful writing and acting career gained momentum, he delved into the music scene in the late 80s, collaborating with the K9 Posse, a hip-hop duo consisting of Wardell Mahone and Charley's half-brother Vernon Lynch Jr. Murphy played a crucial role in managing the group and contributed to writing and producing at least 2 songs on their debut album. Charley demonstrated serious writing skills evident from his early work on screenplays crafted as vehicles for his brother's career. Notably, he assisted Eddie in writing scripts for films like Vampire in Brooklyn and Norbit, as well as their first collaboration, The Peddler, which Paramount purchased in the 80s, though it was never produced. While his appearance alongside Chris Rock in '93 marked a significant milestone, Charley found an even bigger platform when he was recruited as a writer for the new Comedy Central series Chappelle's Show. He recalled being summoned to the show and seized the opportunity, eventually creating the wildly popular Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories series, which became a standout segment on the show.
We're gonna hang out with Rick James tonight, you know what I'm saying? And he comes out the room and I look at him and I'm not man, I seen like an orange.
Charley's career trajectory was marked by undeniable progression shaped by his early film roles that honed his craft. Often cast as the antagonistic bully on screen, he possessed a natural charisma that infused his acting style. His transition to becoming a featured player on Chappelle's Show showcased not only his acting, but also his storytelling abilities to a global audience. In a 2010 interview with the AV Club, Charley shared a memorable moment at the Four Seasons Maui with Joe Rogan. A waitress informed them of paparazzi filming them from the bushes by the pool. Amid discussions on how to handle it, Charley's primary reaction was a sense of validation, feeling that he had finally made it. Despite these milestones, Charley felt a persistent drive to prove himself both personally and among his peers. Co-writing the screenplay for Eddie Murphy's successful 2000 film Norbit, which grossed $159 million, and releasing his own Comedy Central special I Will Not Apologize in 2010, despite mixed reviews, underscored his commitment to refining his craft. Over time, fans recognized improvements in his comedic timing and material, leading to more diverse and significant opportunities in his career.
He started kicking it, and he was mad Irish, man, which was, right up my alley.
I'm one of the baddest of all time. One of the best singers, one of the best looking ever seen. Hold my drink.
In addition to his significant achievements in acting and writing, Charley showcased his talent as a voiceover artist throughout his career. He lent his distinctive voice to nearly a dozen projects, including the popular video game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. One of his standout voice roles was portraying the character Ed Winkler III, a drunken ex-soldier on Cartoon Network's animated series The Boondocks. His improvisational performance for this character was partly inspired by George W. Bush's persona. Additionally, he voiced characters in the 2012 adaptation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Charley also had a recurring role on Cartoon Network's Black Jesus, a show many believed was criminally underrated.
Good thing about it was they stopped taking me out on patrol because my name became Stink Bomb, you know what I'm saying?
Charley's versatility extended far beyond comedy and acting, as the older Murphy brother contributed his talents to various facets of Hollywood. Whether managing a hip-hop group, producing music, or lending his voice to animated characters, his creative influence was felt across multiple platforms, solidifying his legacy as a dynamic and multifaceted entertainer. By the time of his passing, he was a pivotal part of the All-Star, The Comedy Get Down tour, alongside George Lopez, Cedric the Entertainer, Eddie Griffin, and D.L. Hewley. This tour served as a powerful affirmation of Charley's hard work and dedication, demonstrating that the stand-up comedy he had honed so consistently was indeed ready for prime time. Charley often remarked on the inherent danger of a comedian's job, yet on shows like Chappelle's Show, it seemed effortless, devoid of any visible peril. Those with expressive faces possess the ability to induce fits of laughter with just a simple raise of an eyebrow. Charley embodied this talent, captivating audiences from the start of Chappelle's Show with his expressive reactions. His facial expressions of disgust and embarrassment were comedic gold, leaving viewers in stitches. He was the quintessential supporting actor, complementing the magnetic presence of the show's star, Dave Chappelle, and contributing to its undeniable allure. Charley's dialogue, though initially sparse, consistently delivered a punch. His authentic delivery exuded a tough guy persona grounded in genuine life experiences. Growing up alongside his younger brother Eddie during the latter's meteoric rise to superstardom in the 1980s, Charley was uniquely positioned for comedic success. His innate comfort on screen, especially alongside Dave Chappelle, epitomized a seamless fusion of toughness and humor that struck a chord with audiences. In February 2004, everything changed for Charley Murphy. His iconic sketches on Chappelle's Show, particularly Charlie Murphy's True Hollywood Stories featuring Rick James and Prince, swiftly ascended to the pinnacle of the show's classics. These sketches, now hailed as undisputed masterpieces, aired consecutively over 2 Wednesdays, captivating viewers and even overshadowing the legendary performances of Dave Chappelle and Eddie Murphy. For those brief but unforgettable weeks, Charley was celebrated as the funniest man alive, a testament to his comedic genius and enduring impact on pop culture. During the peak of Chappelle's Show's cultural phenomenon, Charley's unforgettable storytelling epics propelled the series to new heights of must-see television. While the show was already essential viewing with its rich tapestry of references, characters, and jokes igniting lively discussions, Charley's back-to-back narratives became the centerpiece of water-cooler conversations. Missing an episode left the next day's school or work discussions feeling incomplete without dissecting Charley's latest comedic masterpiece.
I'm the steal one, you know what I'm saying?
What, he gonna smack me back? I'm Rick James, he's Charlie Murphy.
I waited because I knew what hotel he was staying in.
The profound cultural impact of Chappelle's Show throughout its 3-season tenure was significantly enriched by Charlie Murphy's contributions. While Dave Chappelle laid the groundwork with his comedic brilliance, it was Charley who shone the brightest among legends, driving the show's evolution towards greatness. However, Charley's career extends far beyond his time on Chappelle's Show. Prior to his breakthrough on Comedy Central, he made notable contributions to cinema, actively participating in movies and shows that are now celebrated as cornerstones of Black Hollywood. Even after Chappelle's show, Charley remained active in the entertainment industry, appearing in stand-up specials and lending his voice to animated series like Black Dynamite. Nevertheless, it was during his stint on Chappelle's show, particularly during that memorable February run, that Charley solidified his star status. His storytelling prowess and comedic talent carved out a distinct lane for him, one that left an indelible mark on pop culture and ensured his legacy as an influential figure in the entertainment landscape. For many, Charlie Murphy's impact went beyond mere television appearances. He became a symbol of comedic brilliance and cultural relevance, inspiring audiences and fellow artists alike. To others, his journey exemplified the power of authenticity and talent in forging enduring connections with audiences and securing a lasting place in entertainment history.
We got closer, started hanging out. My brother didn't do any of this shit. So at night, when Eddie would break out, we would all be getting crazy and wild.
There was an undeniable allure to Charlie Murphy that made you root for his success. He possessed a rare blend of honesty, mixing elements of machismo, glimpses of aggression, and genuine self-deprecation to weave anecdotes unlike any other. In recounting tales about Rick James and Prince, Charlie didn't shy away from depicting himself in embarrassing situations such as getting punched by James, bearing the imprint of a ring on his forehead, and later getting slapped at a bar. He also faced off against Prince and the Revolution in a basketball showdown where he and his friends were thoroughly defeated. What made Charlie's story so captivating was the initial uncertainty about their truthfulness. Yet because it was Charlie telling them, you couldn't help but believe, and if you were the skeptical type, you'd certainly want to believe every word. He didn't strike you as someone who would fabricate life-altering experiences for the sake of a good story. As you delve deeper into his life through his narratives, the authenticity of his accounts became apparent, reinforcing the notion that Charlie truly was as genuine as they come. Ultimately, Charlie's life encapsulated the essence of friendship, fun and foolishness intertwined with unwavering loyalty and camaraderie, beginning with his bond with his brother. It's evident that Charlie and Eddie shared a very close relationship. Beyond his comedic antics, Charlie's most endearing quality was his unwavering loyalty. In a revealing story captured in the Chappelle's Show Season 2 DVD outtakes titled That's My Brother, Charlie recounted an incident where he defended Eddie against a jealous ex-NFL player who resorted to name-calling in a restaurant. Unable to tolerate the disrespect aimed at Eddie, Charlie expressed his willingness to confront the man physically, although he ultimately didn't act on it. Charlie's protective instinct for Eddie extended to hecklers at his brother's shows, where he would often confront anyone who dared to boo Eddie's jokes. This fierce loyalty sometimes crossed the line for Eddie, who found Charlie's actions excessive. However, for Charlie it was simple. "That's my brother," he'd often say. In his own words, Charlie revealed that he would rough up anybody who disrespected Eddie because that's how it's supposed to be. While his protective nature could be seen as a liability, there's an undeniable appeal to having Charlie Murphy in your corner. At least you'd know you had a friend who would go to bat for you without hesitation. On one occasion, he said, "I protected Eddie. He never had to fight because people knew who his older brother was." Charlie's legacy extends far beyond the laughter he brought through his comedic storytelling, as he embodied authenticity, loyalty, and the unyielding bonds of brotherhood. He left a mark on those who had the privilege of hearing his tales and witnessing his unwavering devotion to family and friends. In the end, Charlie's stories resonate not just for their humor, but also for how relatable they were. In addition to their shared experiences, Charlie was not only Eddie's brother, but also his close confidant. Raised together by their mother and stepfather in Brooklyn after their father's passing in 1969, Charlie spoke openly about their bond in a 2009 interview with Essence. He emphasized that despite Eddie's immense success, he never felt overshadowed and always took pride in his brother's accomplishments. Quote, "I've never felt like I was living in anyone's shadow," the elder Murphy said. "My life was what it was. I was always proud of my brother. He helped me tremendously, but we're family, so we were never in his shadow." Eddie, in turn, cherished his brother's presence and influence. In a 2016 interview with Variety, Eddie revealed that despite his vast repertoire of Saturday Night Live characters, Charlie remained his favorite person to impersonate, showcasing their deep connection from childhood. Quote, "Charlie is actually my best impression," Eddie revealed after learning Charlie was among the top results when Eddie Murphy impressions is Googled. "I've been doing him since I was 2 or 3. He was my first impression," Eddie added. "I wish he would get famous because people could see this great impression that I do." Tragically, Charlie passed away from leukemia in 2017 at the age of 57, leaving behind 3 children. His marriage to Tisha Taylor Murphy, which lasted 12 years until her death from cervical cancer in 2009, depicted the enduring love and partnership they both shared. Eddie expressed his sorrow over Charley's passing, and in his words, quote, "Our hearts are heavy with the loss today of our son, brother, father, uncle, and friend, Charley. Charley filled our family with love and laughter, and there won't be a day that goes by that his presence will not be missed. Thank you for the outpouring of condolences and prayers. We respectfully ask for privacy during this time of great loss for all of us." In a heartfelt statement to Variety, Eddie also shared that Charley filled their family with love and laughter, and there won't be a day that goes by that his presence will not be missed, as we just said. In a touching tribute, Eddie dedicated his 2019 film Dolomite Is My Name to Charley as a tribute to the solid influence Charley had on Eddie's comedic journey. Charley's early introduction of Dolomite's comedy to Eddie undoubtedly left an irreplaceable mark, symbolizing the enduring bond between the brothers that appeared to transcend both life and art. Through shared memories and heartfelt tributes, Eddie continues to honor Charley's legacy, ensuring that his brother's spirit and laughter live on in the hearts of all who knew and admired him. A lot of people can attest that there was a certain chill in the air when they got the news that Charley had died. The news broke through publicist Dominic Natti, who told The Hollywood Reporter that the star had died following a battle with leukemia at age 57. One of his fans wrote, quote, "Charlie Murphy is a real gangsta for not talking about an incident that happened which they settled. I respect the guy, R.I.P. Charlie." Another one added, "Charlie was a real one. I like how articulate and calculated he was. Every time he was met with ignorance and opposition, he walked away the winner." The news of Charlie's passing prompted an outpouring of tributes from friends and colleagues, including heartfelt words from fellow Chappelle's show actor Donnell Rawlings, who described him as a lion and emphasized that it's time for darkness to see the light. But just think about his mother, who has been living in the nightmare being fearful of what can happen to Eddie as well.